Are live. What's up, everybody? Oh my God, crazy amount of stuff today. You know, there's decades where nothing happens, and there's months where decades happen. Right now, we're in a time where like decades are happening in days. So, I guess first we gotta get this up. First of all, how you guys doing? We got Humberto and Cam with us, and Tony is gonna be jumping on too. So we're gonna have a full house tonight, and like an infinite amount of stuff to talk about. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. You go first, Cam. Veterans first.
Nah, you good, brother. You good. I'm just good. I'm chilling. Had a good dinner,
right.
chilling. Ready to go.
So first and foremost, I guess we gotta get Zuck out of the way. So I'm gonna show you guys a quick little bit of Zuckerberg today, and tell me if this is like a hostage video of him saying this against his will, or if he's genuinely trying to change.
I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy.
Did they now?
We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
So you guys get the point. It's this whole diatribe of how sorry he is and how they need to change their ways. But so is this him like looking at the circumstances in the market, or him genuinely feeling this way? Like, do you think that he's like a sympathetic figure where he was kind of being held hostage by the politicians and by everybody and them putting pressure on him? Or do you think that he was in line with politicians and people putting pressure on before? Cam, you got it.
I think it's legit. But I'm kind of interested to see how it plays out. So he's already had some backlash. It was like from the deep state. You know what I mean? When they came down on him hard and Facebook value actually dropped. But I think it's legit. I think it's also an opportunity because Trump's coming in. So I'm interested to see how much of an influence it is because of Trump. Also, Zuckerberg had like a big change once he started training with BJJ guys and MMA guys. His personality, how he dresses, how he walks around, his attitude has changed a lot. So I'm curious to see how much influence he's having by being around those guys. You know, I mean, he grew up in college and with all, California. What is it? What is the valley? What is it over there?
Silicon
Valley. Yeah, he grew up there. You know what I mean? And then now he comes over and now he's training with all these MMA guys, and it's kind of seeing like it's a different era for him. So I think it'd be interesting to see how the next couple of months plays out. See if he gets any negative backlash or if it gets shut down. I think it's great. I think it's great if he follows through with it. Kind of like what what's his name? Elon was kind of doing. You know what I mean? Not and so much censorship. So I think it'd be great. I think it'll be dope to see how it plays out.
Okay, Humberto, what do you think? What you got?
No, I'm offended.
Why? Okay. I assumed so, but tell me why.
All right, listen. First, he goes like, "Oh, I created Facebook to give people a voice." That's a lie. That's bunk. That's bullshit.
Bonk.
He created Facebook to get girls. All right. So,
real quick, though, I think every creation in the history of the world is created with the intention of getting girls.
Everything.
Like every
Airplane,
building, every
fire,
car, food you eat, every last
food.
thing. is
everything.
inspired
All
by
right,
girls.
okay. But this was especially inspired to get
flexing.
girls. It's
Mhm.
called the Facebook because he wants to have a little black book of all the girls on campus. We know the story. So I think
Mhm.
we're just going back full circle. All right.
Mhm.
Back to manhood, being a dude that doesn't like dudes. It's cool again, and I'm with it. Uh, now I'm offended that you even asking the questions because you know how he got to the Facebook. This was financed by some sort of people in government, and whatever he says, it bears no weight at all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I mean the question, yeah, no, I totally agree. I think
Now,
that
can you
like
tell the people about the funding, how the CIA funded this, and then
yeah,
they bought it, and this
InQtel.
and that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, like it
just
was
tell the
it was
people. So
it was
whatever he
sponsored by
says, it doesn't matter.
yeah, the venture capitalist arm of the CIA, InQtel. That was what Facebook was funded by. I don't think it's a coincidence the Winklevoss brothers that they stole Facebook from just stumbled their way into being the first Bitcoin owners. I think that was a little sorry, guys, that we had to do this to you, but here you go. Here's this Bitcoin thing's going to be a big deal. So have this and shut up. So I think the same people that helped them Facebook be what it is and kill MySpace and put pressure on them and said, hey, it's time to pay back the favor when they needed him to censor stuff. But my question is how so wait, so if you guys were to guess, what's the biggest social media by users in the world today?
I think it is Instagram.
Meta.
So here, like, how the hell is this the case? So and Facebook by a landslide. This is April of 2024. Facebook has 3 billion users, not including Instagram.
Wow.
Instagram has 2 billion users, and then YouTube 2.5, then WhatsApp another 2 billion. So those but
So that's
all the
even bigger
Facebook
than
owned things
TikTok.
combined. Yeah, think about it. Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. So combined, that's like 7 billion users. So who the hell is using Facebook? Like nobody I know like actively talks about using Facebook or seeing stuff on Facebook. So what is this? Is this different countries?
I guess
Yeah.
my question is then is that the highest valued right now? If you were to try to sell it?
Yeah, Facebook's
What is
probably the highest
Facebook
valued
market?
social media. It's like almost $1 trillion market cap. Let's see. Facebook market cap. But when's the last time you heard somebody using Facebook? Like parents?
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
about
Facebook.
the
Yeah,
younger
1.5
generation.
trillion. 1.5 trillion Facebook's market cap.
Well, Brandon, if you would listen to me in a while, I actually covered this. They are losing high value customers. This was in the news like 2 or 3 months ago because Facebook is moving to the third world. If you go to South America or Africa or Southeast Asia, it's all Facebook, and those people are a lot more people than we are. We are like 300 million. What is it? Or like 400
Yeah,
million?
400 count the illegals.
Yeah, and they probably have Facebook too. So this is not news. They've been grasping the market outside, and then the addition of WhatsApp into the ecosystem that links it with Facebook and Instagram and everything. That's a big move. I don't even is it? I can't see the graph properly, but it's in the list. WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp's number 4.
Oh,
WhatsApp's
there
got
it is.
2 billion.
Yeah.
So they own the top and number 4.
They own the top 3 out of the top 4. That Facebook's number 1, Instagram's number 3, and WhatsApp's number 4. Did
All
they own
right.
Snapchat too?
Oh, they all own it? They own all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they own
Really?
Yeah.
Instagram and
I don't-
WhatsApp. Yep.
I knew Facebook and Instagram, not WhatsApp either, really.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and if you don't know, now you know.
Wow.
Yeah, they bought for like 20 billion or something. I think
did
they
not
might
know
own
that.
Snapchat too. I forgot if they bought it or
the
I think
Snapchat
Snapchat's
guy
on
never
Snapchat.
sold. He
Oh,
never
idiot.
sold.
Now it's
No.
just
No, he's not an idiot. He's sticking
I
by
think
his
he-
guns.
Yep.
he probably would have been better off if he sold it though. Now it's just like a nudie website.
People still use it a lot though. People
Yeah,
still
for
use it.
terrible things.
Yeah.
No, dude, you can get content there. Have you used it lately?
No.
Oh, we have a wonderful Snap audience. Like shout out to them. We did really
Really?
good work there. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Well, the more you
41,000
know.
followers there. So download Snap and follow Valuetainment on Snap right now because it's more than a nudie page. It's great. We did put a lot of work into it.
Okay. Well, all right. So now that we got that out of the way, now we can get onto the good stuff. So this is the thing that I'm probably most excited about. So, we've talked about how Keir Starmer's a psychopath. We talked about how the UK is a disaster. Cam, did you know that? So you know how we're hearing all the stuff about how the people are getting arrested for social media posts in the UK, and then the people who like stab and sexually assault little kids, they're getting off free.
I think a couple months ago there was threat if they posted about anything about something that was going on in politics, they would get in trouble if I'm not right or wrong, right?
Yeah, no, people got Humberto dancing. So the prime minister for UK, like he's an attorney that was like a public defendant who like his sole thing was that he would defend rapists and freaking like child molesters and like all the sickest people. So yeah, like that's who's running the UK right now.
Okay.
And I mean, Nigel Farage, like he seemed promising for a second, but he kind of folded up and ended up being useless. But there's hope. I mean, like this is like a parallel universe dream come true. So we have a new candidate for potentially the next prime minister.
And anybody who's wondering,
yeah, we do.
Every single thing has gotten worse. Everything. The crime has gotten worse. The NHS has gotten worse. The economy has gotten worse. There's nothing you can name. Public image has gotten worse. The military's gotten worse. Education. The education system's gotten worse. The judiciary has gotten worse. There's not a single institution inside of the UK that is not worse than it was 10 years ago. And for the last 14 years, Conservatives were in charge and did nothing. They let the little girls get raped. They did nothing. Now Labour's in charge. They are flailing and failing while sponsoring foreign wars and allowing old age pensioners to freeze to death. And Conservatives are trying to talk as if they are the answer to something. You have done nothing but fail your constituents for over a decade. The Conservatives are liars. Labour are liars. It is two sides of the same coin of uniparty, globalist, banking interest garbage. And for that reason,
you're wrong there.
A man who is prepared to risk his life to save his country. And if you ask yourselves, Donald Trump is the man for the United States. He's the only man who publicly took endless heat, lawfare, and assassination attempts to do the right thing. Name another man with a British passport who has fought the Matrix as hard as we have, who has stood up as hard as we have, and shown.
So were they born in Britain? Because I still don't know where they're originally from.
Yeah.
My goal, once I'm in power, is to finally give the UK what it deserves, which is a country which is ruled by somebody who's not beholden to globalist interests, who's intending to destroy the nation to benefit the globalists, to extract her beauty, her value, and her wealth.
Like, I mean, if there's anybody who's born to be a politician, it's fucking Andrew Tate, dude. Like, I mean, he's got a gift, and he's been wasting that gift in like the whole manosphere thing, which was needed, but like this is over, dude. Like, if I could like make a giant bet right now on him winning this, I would lay it all on the line. Like, are you kidding me? He can motivate anybody to do anything. Or what you got?
I don't think he'd get it.
You don't think he's gonna win?
I don't think he'd get it. If he truly goes for it, I don't think he gets it. Now, would it be?
He's all in.
Would it be badass if he did? It'd be interesting. I think he has the younger vote and the young side behind him. Probably a lot of males, probably 18 to probably 30. Probably got a big support. But I don't think he gets it with the older crowd. I think there's too much controversy around him. I think although none of it has stuck, you know how bad they've been trying to take him down.
Brandon.
What's up?
You had Tony waiting for an hour.
Dude, I sent him the link.
He's in.
Where is he?
He's been on the waiting for an hour. He's like, he's going to add me.
I was wondering if he's going to jump in. All right, Tony, you're in.
Oh, man.
No, perfect timing.
What are you getting mad at me? What are you getting mad at me? What is this?
Tony.
Okay.
Perfect timing. Do you have meditation music playing or something?
Yeah, he was trying to be patient with you, waiting in the waiting.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either.
I hear meditation music.
That's me in the background.
Who's got the meditation music?
I don't.
Yeah, Camilla, that's you.
What?
You have meditation music playing.
Where?
I don't know, on your computer or something. But anyway, so somebody in the chat brought up a good point. So they said if Tate wins, he's going to adopt Sharia law. So before
Careful,
I know,
Brandon.
I know. So, Tony, are you up to date on what Tate said today that he's announced he's going to run for prime minister of the UK? Oh shit! Oh,
We're still not getting him. Oh,
Is he muted?
I think he has to make sure he's unmuted on the.
Unmute yourself,
StreamYard.
Tone.
Check on StreamYard and make sure that you're unmuted there.
There you go. All right.
There it
No,
is. There
now
it
he's
is.
here. Now the world is ready.
There's that saying, wherever there's a suppression, or repression, there's gonna be an expression. So they've been holding down the expression of men for so long. So you're gonna see more people like this, and I think you're gonna see even more extreme people than Tate coming forward. And I think he'll do great. And I think he's definitely what's needed in England. I think he's needed what's in England and the US and Canada and various places around anywhere in the Western world. We need more men like that who will come out and speak freely, that encourage guys on positive values, get in shape, be strong, get mentally fit, be on your grind, become a success. It's definitely needed.
100%.
100%.
I agree.
That's what
Now-
I'm talking about.
Now, Humberto, you were arguing a bit today. So how do you feel about this one? Because we were going back and forth on it a bit.
Oh man, the thing is that I need to be really careful with my words right now.
Oh God, Mr. Eggshell Walker.
No, because you know why we need to be careful. But if not Andrew Tate, if someone like Andrew Tate, like we clone Andrew Tate, but it's not Andrew Tate, was bidding to be the prime minister of the UK, I will be against it. All right. I don't like the way he took a shortcut to make his money on the backs of cam girls. I think that is morally reprehensible.
But it's legal.
But not because
I'm going to push back on that. I don't
Do it.
I mean,
Push back.
not that look, you have to understand where people come from. And at that time, he came from a fight. He was a pro fighter. He came from a really bad background, and that was his way out. Just like rappers who rap, or people, some people sell drugs. That was his mode. And then once he got out of that, he stopped, and then it seems like he switched gears more into male empowerment. So I don't fault him for it. And he made these women millionaires. It's not like he put a gun to their head and said, you have to do this.
I don't fault him for it. I think he's incredibly successful. I think he was a big, he was very influential at a very necessary time. But I think we need to stop settling for leaders that are less than perfect. All right. If you look at our Senate, if you look in our Congress, we have leaders that are, like I could probably beat up.
Less than perfect? Who's perfect?
No, it's not perfect, but leaders used to be like Genghis Khan, like he could kill everyone.
You're saying
in
Genghis
town.
Khan was perfect in comparison to Andrew Tate? Like Andrew
No,
Tate is
but
Genghis Khan. Fast forward to today.
But it was a strong leader and someone that adhered to the cultural values of the place they're ruling.
No, I don't know, because you're like you're saying this is the same person. You're saying that he's not a perfect leader, but like Genghis Khan like pillaged the entire world and like what? 10%
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he raped more women than anybody on planet Earth. I think that's
in human history.
That's a bad example.
It was a pretty rough one, brother. I can't lie.
I was Googling how many people did Genghis Khan kill.
I was like,
all right.
Sure his DNA
All
is
right,
still all
okay.
over the place.
I mean, I'm not perfect either, but when I'm trying to get across, like I have a hard rule. I only vote for Christians. That's a hard rule. I only vote for Christians. That's the thing. Anyone that doesn't follow Jesus, I don't follow them. That's it. It's done. It's a wrap. It's over. And I vote for people that adhere to Christian values and live by them. Those people I put in power. People that don't do that, I don't put in power. That's it. Easy as pie.
In his defense, he's come a long way, and I mean, he's overshot it a bit. I mean, like my least favorite thing about him 4 years ago was that he was an atheist, and I liked a lot of the stuff that he said, but he always said the pessimistic thing about God, that he doesn't imagine God to exist. But then became a Christian because he said if this much evil exists in the world, then there has to be a God. And then he got fed up with how much of a pushover the Christians were being, and like I totally get that. But then I think he overshot it a bit by going Muslim because they aren't pushovers, but they're fundamentally flawed with what they believe in. So I hope.
Well, I think he also undershot. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I feel like he undershot Christianity though. So if you go to Brazil, try talking bad about Jesus in Brazil and see how far you get.
South
Those guys
America
will.
South America for that point.
Huh? Yeah,
South
exactly. So. Yep. So there's places in the world where that type of talk isn't going to fly. So I wish he had been exposed to that, or go to Russia even. and start talking
Right.
bad and see what happens and how long that lasts. So I feel like he just got wrapped up, or he focused too much on the West's perception of Christianity, and he should have got more in the Eastern, like the Eastern side of it, or maybe South, and he would have been more than fine. There's plenty of strong men from those groups.
I think to me it sounds too much like he's just trying to stay relevant, man. I think he's trying to find another weak place. I mean, originally it was Big America, and he was diving into so much on how weak America was, and and it came at a right time. You know what I'm saying? What he was saying, there was some points there of what was going on, but I think right now he's just trying to stay relevant, dude. I don't think if he does go through with it, I don't think he really stands a shot to actually get it. And kind of like what you said, Umberto, I think his past is too tainted for him to be a politician and be a prime minister.
Look,
Yeah, go ahead.
there is context, all right? Different times call for different leaders, all right? The person that England needs right now is a native born male that professes the Anglican version. I'm not an Anglican, but I think it's important for him to follow the Church of England for England, all right? So he needs to be we need to, like England, to get out of that hole. They need bastion, they need a lighthouse of everything that is English. He needs to be a football fan, he needs to be Anglican, he needs to be everything that is English, all right? Because you can dig a country out of a hole. Trump, with all his faults, he's what America is about. Everything about Trump is American. He went to West Point. He has a beautiful wife, kids, family. He made it in business. He was there in entertainment. He's America. They need an English leader.
But I don't think they could have that now. Like Andrew's able to talk because he's not there. I feel like they won't be able to. I mean, look at what they did with Tommy Robinson. He came out and spoke. He would have been a great example of that. And now he's in jail. So I don't think their laws will allow them to really have somebody who's willing to come out and speak. Or maybe there might be, but there's a high threat of persecution if they decide to do so.
But I was looking at, all the people are coming out. For example, in Germany, the leader of the AfD is a lesbian lady. That's the head of the opposition in Germany. All right. I think the AfD is a great party. Elon is supporting it. It's an alternative for Germany. But at the same time, we need to stop using proxies, and we need to go back to true Western leadership. And everyone knows what it means. I can't say it on YouTube, but everyone knows what true Western leadership means. Countries, they're more than ideas. They mean something. You know what I mean, Brandon?
You're talking about that nationalist vibe?
No, it's not a nationalist vibe, but we need a strong native to step up and save their country, like King Arthur.
Well,
I love the ancient.
I know the callbacks to that.
I love it.
So
that was the last true English leader. King Arthur was the last true English leader.
That's really going back, and I will have said Churchill before some things I found out recently.
No, democracy is imported to England. Like democracy is not native to England. It's a Greek concept.
No, I know. Now you're really going back. So, but here's the thing. So I'm going to read the chat in a second. But so I think with like how far we've gone in the wrong direction today, like how entrenched the deep state is, like in every state. It's not just our deep state; it's like a globalist network of deep states, like especially amongst the Western countries. I think you need somebody like Trump or like Tate or like Elon, if he was allowed to run, like somebody like that with that amount of wealth and power and influence to have any semblance of a chance against this like network of people that's going to come down on you if you dare to try to step into their club. So I think Nigel Farage, I think he'd get run over if he was actually ever going to do anything serious. I think anybody who is going to do anything serious or is going to be a threat to the system is going to get trampled if they don't have like a serious amount of power and influence behind them. So I think for that reason, like I think he's the most well equipped to at least stop the madness and put them back in the right direction. But I think the main question is would he implement Sharia law? Like, is he that devout of a Muslim at this point? Like, I would say no, I don't think so. But what do you guys think about that?
But you're contradicting yourself.
Why?
Him as a Muslim, what the Quran says, he is mandated as a leader to establish Sharia law. If he's a good Muslim, he's mandated to establish Sharia law. Anything else, he's betraying the thing. I don't trust anyone that can change something so fundamental about themselves as their belief in religion. I don't. I don't believe in
But
converts. I don't
how
believe in
long?
converts in politics. I don't believe in converts in religion. Like I don't. I'm sorry. You can't flip flop on the core value that will, like lead you to your eternal existence. You can't flip flop on that, Brandon.
But how long was he a Christian for? It was like less than a year. So he was like an atheist his entire
So
life. Then becomes.
even worse.
You think?
I agree.
What's that?
Yep.
Yeah, even worse. I think it's even worse.
You think so?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why?
I mean, if all right, so he's stuck with atheists, right? You can tell me he found Jesus. That's fine. Accept that, right? So if you truly found Jesus, then you're gonna say, oh, hold on, let me back up. Nah, I messed up with Jesus. Now it was Muhammad the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't either. I think.
Yeah, it's flippant.
Yeah,
but I don't think.
Do you think he really is into the religion itself, or do you
That's
think he
what
just
I'm
likes
saying.
it because it gives him multiple wives and it allows him to, he hangs out with like the many things he deems as strong, and it gives him a chance to marry multiple women.
And does his lifestyle really mirror Muslim beliefs? You know what I mean?
I don't think it mirrors either. But I think that I don't think he's a true Muslim. I think that he was fed up with the how tolerant Christians were being in the West, especially. So I don't think my prediction. I don't think he's gonna stay a Muslim. I think that this is temporary. I think he eventually will probably go back to being Christian.
You might as well just write it out, dude.
But you're supposed to forgive everybody, though, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not saying I don't. I don't.
That's what Jesus says.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if he goes and says, now I'm back to being a Christian and now I want to run the politics, then are you just playing whatever card works in your favor, or is it truly your faith?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I know what you mean. So a lot of people in the chat are saying, let's see, Christy says, I like Andrew Tate, but it's the Sharia law that's the problem. Not everyone is Muslim. I'm Catholic, but I believe in the freedom of religion, no forcing religion on people.
The other thing is, how is he going to be on immigration? Is he? Oh, actually, no. He seems like he's pretty anti-immigration. So
here, actually, I have a clip that says how he's going to be on immigration.
He couldn't cross the channel, but these random men on dinghies seem to cross just fine. Every ship, every plane, every soldier will serve only the interests of the British people. There is no justification for sending men, weapons, or resources to foreign wars when Britain is under siege at home.
So
I can't take him serious no more, dude. I really can't. I personally cannot take Tate serious anymore. I can't.
Really?
I agree with him though. I don't think we should
can't.
be sending money anywhere or anybody to die, especially when we have as many issues as we have. Andrew Carnegie, who was at one point the richest man in the world, he said if America ever goes from a nationalistic viewpoint to an imperialistic viewpoint, it'll bankrupt America, and that's pretty much what we've seen happen.
That's a good point. Yeah, we've 100% gone. When was the last time we were a nationalist? Like in the 1800s?
I would say there was a strong sense of nationality all the way through like the 60s, and then
probably Vietnam.
Woodrow Wilson was such a globalist, and then so was FDR.
No, I was talking about the people themselves, like the actual.
Gotcha.
Like,
yeah, not policies.
More. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. But so final word on this. Do you guys hope that he ends up being prime minister or not? Like, I deeply hope that he ends up being prime minister. And my prediction would be that he wouldn't implement Sharia law and that he's not really legitimately Muslim.
So what, Brandon? So what are we left? He's not legitimately a Muslim. He was running camp girls, this and that. What do we have, Brandon? Like the whole point of democracy, Brandon, and that's why it's so broken, is that you assess someone on their character and the things they're about to do. You have a sure shot. Okay, this guy. Because democracy used to be a lot smaller. This guy, he's a nice butcher in my village. He goes to church every Sunday. When I was short 10 cents to buy meat, last week, he spotted me 10 cents. He does good work with the children, at the orphanage. So, I know the character of the man. I think
they're good people, dude. They're good people. And the dude that's running the place right now, Keir Starmer, he's fundamentally evil. But the Tates, I deeply believe that they're genuinely good people. Like, I went to their house last year when they first got out of jail. I went to their house. They had this whole second guest house and I was full of supplies that they were driving to Ukraine themselves, be just food and clothing, basic stuff, because they felt bad for people that were in Ukraine. They run animal charities and they do all kinds of stuff on the load that they don't even advertise or anything, that it's just genuinely helping people. So yeah, like I get it's not the most like clean or ethical way to get rich to do the cam girl thing, but it was legal. You know, I don't see any evidence they ever did something to somebody against their will, and I think that's what matters. They didn't break the law. They didn't do anything to anybody against their will. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they're much less evil than the people in power right now.
I'm not saying they're breaking the law whatsoever. It's a legal business, but when something is legal, it's not necessarily ethical and not necessarily moral. Like you know, you can go to the industrial military complex. That's completely legal. Is it moral? Is it ethical? Does it cause us more problems down the line? I don't know. I'm not the judge. God will judge everyone, you know, when their time comes. I'm not the judge. I would like to see a strong Christian conservative leader that aligns with the original values that made Britain great. That's what I would like to see. Do I think he's a better option than anything that is being offered now? Yes. Um, but I'm not stoked. Like I think he made a tremendous contribution in all other fields, but not for the PM of England.
Okay, so we're both a yes. What do you guys say?
I think he's the best thing that's happened there in a long time. He did a fantastic job. I think he'll revolutionize how men think. I think if you give him, you know, however many years he can serve for, I'm for him all the way. And I've dealt, you know, like I've interacted with his brother numerous times. He's a great guy, so I have nothing but good things to say about him.
Yeah, they'll repopulate UK.
I 100% will have Tristan as a prime minister.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. I would too.
I think he'd have. I think if that proposing it that way, I think he has a better shot to take. I think he has a better shot to take. I don't think as cool as it would be, it would be absolutely. I think it'd be amazing to see how that would play out.
I'm a huge Tristan fan. What am I going to say?
It would just be completely unorthodox. You know what I mean? It's not the norm. It's not what they're used to seeing. I think it's kind of the same thing with Trump. We didn't know what to expect from him and how that played out. And I think Tate would be the same thing, but I don't think he gets it. I don't think he gets it. I don't think he has a fair shot. And I think his brother would do better.
All right, let me take a moment to read. What's up?
No, first, Monveer, we can see the chats. So is that what you're going to read, Brandon?
Yeah, you got something?
I was just going to say my biggest fear, though, is he runs and then, God forbid, they put up somebody super strong that's leftist against him as the antithesis to him. And then we get into an even worse position than we're in right now. So, which will, may very well happen.
Oh, it can't get any worse, Tony.
Yeah, Keir Starmer is pretty much as bad as it gets, I think.
That is the bottom of the barrel. Like, you know, Tony, what he did before becoming PM? His life work his life work was cutting sentences for rapists and murderers all across the Commonwealth.
That was his passion.
That was his passion. That's what made him famous. He defended all the terrorists. That's an overstatement, but he defended a bunch of people that were related to terrorist attacks. His party has been screwing the English people for decades, almost a century. Like, I don't think it can get lower than that. You will need to have an actual communist, and I think an actual communist, like someone from the Communist Party, will be better because at least they state what they're gonna do. This guy hide it behind.
No, I feel yep. So I'll read some of these chats quick. Manveer says, yes, there's good people of all, but people are not in heart bad, but big concern of stereotypes and slurs against other nationalities.
Yeah,
Anthony Kirkwood said, Katie Hopkins will have.
I don't
the
think
balls
that
to
should be
fix
your
the
biggest
UK.
concern right now is stereotypes. I think that should be the last thing. You have a huge influx of people coming all over that are unvetted. Who cares about mean words? Like, we need strong, decisive action right now. If somebody wants to say, oh, you're a bigot or you're whatever for stereotyping, well, so be it. We need strong borders here and abroad. And if people want to name call us for pointing out certain groups that are causing issues, and it is what it is. I don't mind the mean words as long as things are being done about it.
I think there's a comment there by Gianni. I don't know. Tate's got a few public victories to overcome some of the bad press from before. Yes, I agree. I think that's a big one right there. he has to have a couple of W's in the eyes of the media before, if he really wants.
But the one thing Tate is he's one of the best marketers in the world.
Yeah.
So
I
think
mean,
he
and
could do
public
it.
speaking and everything.
And if he debates anybody, I think he'll rip them to shreds. So if you
Oh
put
my
them,
God,
you
he'd
know,
evocerate them. He
Yeah,
is
so I
truly
would
truly
love to
gifted at
see it.
speaking.
Mhm.
Now, speaking of putting feelings aside and using force to get the job done, Trump, he spoke for I think 30 minutes today, and there was like 10 different topics that like pretty much went viral that stuff that he's never said before. So I'm gonna show you something that Trump said, and then I'm gonna show you something that this
the Canada
crazy
Ontario.
politician from Canada came out and said. Like, I don't think anybody's seen this thing that this lady from Canada said. So here's Trump.
Montana and California or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Wanted to touch on the world on fire that you mentioned, but let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look.
So he says, you know what he wants to do with Canada and with Panama Canal, with Greenland and everything. And then this lady comes out and says this in response to what Trump's saying about Canada. Watch this.
Hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California,
That would be great.
Oregon, Washington. You've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California, Governor Newsom, and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected Governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor.
So that's what we got in Canada. So like the audacity of this bitch to say that she's going to take Canada and Washington and Oregon. Like, what do you got? Humberto.
What's up?
All right,
Sorry,
Cam,
Chris
go.
is here.
Yeah. How do you process that, Cam?
All right, so there was also another one that I saw where it was I don't know, whoever was in charge of Ontario, I can't fucking say it. My ESL comes out and he was talking like, oh, we'll take Montana and we'll take. I think the funniest part about this is that he's actually starting to get on their nerves, and that's the best part for me. There's for me a sense of worry for them. I feel like it's almost like, damn, is he about to crumble us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What she's saying all day, talking about California, Washington, I think that's just stupid. Talking about we're in contact with all them and deals and all this. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's never
you have no leverage. You don't they don't even have guns there. Like they barely have a military.
No.
They're so much more dependent on us than we are on them. It's hilarious. That lady looked like a goblin. Tony,
I think out of go ahead.
Tony.
Oh, wait, no, you guys go ahead. Did I interject for a second?
All right. Who wants to interject?
Go ahead.
No, I'll just say the last thing I was going to say. Is it 20% of their land is actually habitable? Like they can actually live in there?
Yeah, like a small fraction of it, like a little sliver at the bottom. The rest of it, it's like Russia, where like the whole population lives at the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what leverage do you have?
Nothing.
I think if they become, God forbid, if California became annexed by Canada, it'd become even more of a shithole if that's possible. So I think there would be no good to anyone, not even to the Canadians, by that taking place. So
that'd be like two
people.
But
the only thing I am willing to acquiesce on, they can have Gavin Newsom. They can become
they can
fuck right off and head over.
They can take it right now. They can take him right now.
That'd be like if two people who just got divorced and were like the main cause of their domestic violence got married to each other and they're both on welfare, like link up. That's California and Canada. Humberto, what do you think?
All right, I do have some opinions on this topic, very strong opinions.
Hit us.
There we go. Let's go.
All right, this is a no-win situation. I mean, even though we trash California all the time, I went to school in California. Tony lived in the best part of his life in California.
I live the best and the worst. I've lived in like the most ghetto neighborhoods you can imagine,
but
and I lived in some of the best.
in defense of California, like it is the most beautiful state in the union by far. It has the best weather by far, the best surfing, the best mountains.
Great food.
You know, it's great. I had nothing but fun when I lived there in San Diego. But going to the point, I don't think California, even though it's super liberal right now, it couldn't work under Canadian law. Like, it's impossible to become a millionaire and let alone a billionaire in Canada right now. Like, there's no way that I wish you could pull up the chart, see when was the last time there was a self-made millionaire or billionaire in Canada. Millionaire, probably, yeah, but a self-made billionaire. Can you think
In Canada?
Yeah, any billionaire self-made, like made in Canada.
Easy find. Sorry.
Millionaire, I would imagine with I mean, if you were in the real estate game in Canada, you could become a millionaire quite easily.
But a billionaire?
Oil.
Billionaire, that I'm not sure of.
Let's
All
see.
right.
So
I think
I'm looking that
California
up.
wouldn't. I think California would not work on Canada.
No, I mean we can't let that
Lost
happen.
Humberto. He's been lost to Canada.
Oh God, no. So I mean, first of all, like that's not even up to California. It's not up to Canada. It's like we wouldn't lose California. We wouldn't lose any state because at the end of the day, that's part of our GDP and that's like part of our national security. Like Canada's like only exists because we let it exist. Like it's like probably the only time in the history of the world where like we have this what is it like this agreement where we just like allow countries that are weaker than us that are next to us to exist. Like if this was 100 years ago or 200 years ago, like this situation, we would invade the shit out of Canada and take their resources in 2 seconds. But we're in this like domesticated, civilized part of time where we just coexist with a weaker country next to us. So I mean, it's hilarious they're trying to like play Trump's game. Like it's like in 2016 when Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio started trying to talk shit to Trump in the way that he was talking shit to them. It comes off in a completely different, unorganic way. But I think Pierre Poilievre is a G compared to Trudeau, and I think that he's gonna be on board with whatever Trump's gonna want to do. And it's probably not gonna be as severe as Trump saying. Like I don't think he's gonna make Canada a state, but I think he's probably gonna Canada's gonna start using the dollar instead of the Canadian whatever that they use.
Well, that's negotiation. You go high and then they'll go
Am I
low.
connected? I got disconnected for a little bit. So
Yeah, you're in.
California, Vermont, Washington would not work under Canada. It's impossible.
No.
I think there's aside from the United States being the greatest country ever, like by a mile, we're similar, but we're so different. We told the English to kick rocks. We told the British, hey, you want to tax me and not let me have a say on things? Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
They don't
How far
have
gone
that
we've been from that.
revolutionary American spirit that makes this country great. Like if it's not invented, I'm gonna come up with it. If it doesn't exist, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna go to the fucking moon and I'm gonna go to the top of Mount Everest and everything in between because fuck you, because I'm an American. That's what that spirit, it doesn't exist in Canada.
Hell no, they think we're insane.
And then in addition to the American, I think resources wise, it'd be a very good move. I think there's oil there. I think the trade routes they're opening up in the Arctic are very important. Military and commercially, it's very relevant right now, and they're going to become more important with the passing of the years, especially not having control over the Panama Canal. All right, so I think there is something there. I don't think Canadians, they can't even agree among themselves. Like they've been having trouble with the French province of Canada that wants to, leave Canada for years. All right. The people from the east of Canada, the people from the west of Canada, they're different, like completely different. The way they do things, the way they think things. So it'd be a tall order.
This is from 1 hour ago.
That's
amazing.
Great. That's
I love that man.
He's the king of trolls.
He's the
I like
best.
trolling.
He knows he's pushing buttons, dude. I absolutely love it.
Like they could barely hang on to Ottawa. So no, I think that
great.
I think they're freaking out. But no, I think just people like Trump and Pierre just have to stay safe, and I think we're on a good track. But speaking of California needing saving, do you see what's happening with California like in the last hour or so? So tell me if this is a movie or like if I'm making this up or if this is real life right now.
Yeah, I want to take you here live right now. So this is Pacific Palisades. All of these cars were ditched. So all of the drivers panicked. They took their keys. This is Palisades Drive as well as Sunset Boulevard. This dozer is just moving these vehicles out of the way. So if this is your car, unfortunately, it's an emergency situation, and this is what they have to do.
So wildfire not being run well, but don't worry, Newsom is here to save the day. Tell me that's not like the ultimate bullshit photo shoot looking thing. Like he definitely just like he's like, I'm gonna like put me in front of this mountain, get a camera, I'm gonna stand there with my hands on my hips and point to things and look like I'm doing something.
That is embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
Former California residents, Tony, you want to go first? Reaction to that?
Actually, yeah, I do. So I've been in LA. I've been there when different parts of it were on fire. And it's not like this is something that just caught them unaware. They're aware that every year that it almost wait, can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah,
oh, yeah. They're aware that almost every year this is gonna happen, or it'll happen at a certain point throughout the year, and it happens every year. I remember I was driving on the freeway and one whole side of the mountain was lit on fire. So this is nothing new to them. Or I've been, close to an area that they're afraid that they're going to have to evacuate. And so you would think after the first time they would say, okay, we need to take massive action and ensure that this doesn't burn down some of the, some homes or get it, injure people.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they let it, if it's like, what is it? It's negligence. Like, they're aware of it or it's just, they don't have the budget or what it is, but I feel like they're aware of it and they're letting it happen for whatever reason. But that's my
Trump talked about
opinion.
that.
I'm going to say that so I don't somehow get in trouble with something.
There's a lot of people have actually talked about why that happens. And if I'm not wrong, Brandon, you can probably correct me. But it comes that they have they don't allow the water to flow south, right? And I don't know if it's the dam. I don't know what it is. I forget the whole technicality of it, but I looked it up a couple months ago because Trump spoke about it, and Trump said that they have the resources to allow the water to go down where you would stop so many forest fires. You would allow agriculture to flourish that much more. Actually, in California, and this is from the restaurant side of the world that I know, California, there's parts of California that have the same humidity, temperature, altitude as the best wines that come from France. They can compete with absolutely almost any other country when it comes to wines. And it's because of that just geolocation, I guess, right?
Yeah, just like constant good weather. It's like they have like a double crop almost.
Yeah, and then like there's been a couple people I've talked about it that is if they were to let go, and I forget truly the reasons why they do this, but it's something stupid that can be fixed. And if they would just simply let that water flow down, you wouldn't be running into these problems. I don't know, Brandon, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I do. That like there's a weird thing where like a lot of their water goes to Colorado or something like that. But in addition to that, it's like they have this stupid thing where they're supposed to have like these small controlled fires to like burn the brush, but they like put out the small fires and let the brush build up, and then it ends up being a giant fire. And what you're alluding to, Tony, I agree with that. It's almost like they're letting these things happen to like kind of clear out certain areas so that they could like the government could take back that territory. But I'm getting some background from one of you guys. Something going on.
Is it stomping or what is it? What do you hear?
Yeah, it's like a but no, so I think there's that angle to it, but also like why is it that cloud seeding exists? Like I'm gonna show you a clip right here. Like we know for a fact like that cloud seeding exists, but like why can't we use cloud seeding to stop things like this? Like here, I'm gonna show you this thing quick.
I wonder, by the way, cloud seeding, and I'm gonna put on my conspiracy hat.
Yeah,
How
do
many
it.
people have gotten sick as a result of it? What are they spraying in the air? What effect is it having by us inhaling it or that landing on our food and us eating it? And what's the result of it? So why are they doing it? What type of effect is it having on our bodies? Is it still necessary? I'm very skeptical. And what effect is it having on the weather long term? San Diego right now is having its driest winter of all time.
Well, if they're gonna do it, like you would hope they at the very least, whatchamacallit, that they do it to like stop wildfires like this, because where's the thing I've pulled up before? Keep
Hey,
going.
there you
I'm
go.
still looking for this clip.
Oh, testing.
Keep going while I look for this clip. So no, I'm with you on that, but like they use this all over the world, like in the Middle East and stuff, to like to put out fires and everything. So I don't know why they wouldn't use it for this.
I think to kind of talk about what we'll see, what negative or positive effects we'll see. I think one of the big things we saw, I believe, is Abu Dhabi. Am I correct? Or Saudi Arabia, somewhere out in the Middle East, they did cloud seeding, and they confirmed it, and that's when they had all that flooding. So they realized
that was Dubai, I believe.
Dubai,
right?
yes, I think it was Dubai. Yeah. And they actually realized how much they couldn't control it. I think it had a reverse effect where they even stated it. I remember reading articles where they had done it to try to, bring some water to the area, and then they had over flooding, way, way bad. So I think when it comes to that, Brand, what we were talking about with the brush fires and all that, some of that stuff is routine. I remember when I was at Fort Bragg, they did routine brush fires, and it's just getting ready for the season. Or when things start to kind of dry up, they'll start doing that. I don't know enough about forest fires though, but it is.
You know about forest fires.
Check this out quick. Check this out quick.
That cloud seeding is booming. They anticipate at least another 200 ground cloud seeding machines to be put in before next season.
Ginger, this is such a cool concept, but is it too good to be true? I mean, how do we know that the chemicals that they're spraying from the air aren't bad for us or the planet?
The good news is we've been doing this since the 1940s and 50s. Other countries do it, and there have been a lot of research projects that have shown that the silver iodide, for example, is not found. It's negligible once it gets down to ground level.
So, again, I don't want to be too skeptical, but is there anything wrong with manipulating nature like this?
I think that's the question we should have asked when we built every single parking lot and every rooftop. We have been manipulating weather with us for a very long time. I do think that looking at and continuing research on when these programs get bigger, if it will affect people downstream, that needs to be watched.
So at least try it. I would think, like if we could do this, why not get ahead of it when you're seeing that the place is like really dry, like it is in California, like or when it's actively happening? Why wouldn't you do it?
Brandon, this is happening is happening in Chile. The woke, because you know how you control forests, so you have forest fires, Brandon. You know how you do it?
Yeah. How?
All right. You need to clear,
the brush,
and you need to, and also you need to segment forest patches. What do you mean by segment? You need to cut down trees, and they don't have the guts to have the image of them paying for people cutting down trees. You need to clear big segments of the forest. So if you have a wildfire here, it doesn't spread to the other side,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a pattern, like I don't have the graph here, but there's a pattern between progressive run places with the amount of forest fire they get. There's a big problem in California, it's run by progressive. There's a big forest problem in Chile, it's run by progressive. There's a big problem in Australia, it's run by progressives. So there's an ethos of not cutting down trees and not keeping up the forest as it should be kept, that led these things to happen. And then when it comes to the cloud seeding, we're messing around with things we don't understand. Like I grew up in Dubai, and I remember the first.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I lived there. I lived in the Middle East for like 11 years, and I remember it was I was yes, alaikum salam. I was I was probably a senior in high school, and I remember the first flooding. Like, mind you, I've been in Dubai for 8 years, never seen more than 2 or 3 days of rain, like max, and very weak rain. And then one day, I remember that day, I think there was something big going on, but it flooded, and we couldn't even go to school because the cities are not designed for that amount of rain.
Right.
I need to find them, but I have pictures of me skimboarding outside my house. Like it was unbelievable, and and fuck around and find out. That's the rule. Like if you don't fuck around with things you don't understand. Like you always gonna fuck it up. That's
I
what it
agree.
is.
I agree.
Well, forgive me for thinking that we're sophisticated and advanced enough to stop wildfires from happening. Like because like I mean, you could track how dry certain areas are, and you could see how susceptible it is.
No, Brendan. That's a fucking fire. We've been doing it for millennia. Like there's been fire control methods for thousands of years, and that's how it's always been done. You clear out the bush, you clear
Right.
out the trees, and you make patches of forest so it doesn't spread to the next side. And that's what it is.
Right. So are they letting this happen on purpose? Oh, go ahead, Tone.
Well, I was gonna say she pissed me off with it's just a negligible amount of iodine. They say, oh, it's a negligible amount of fluoride in the water. It's a negligible amount of mercury in the vaccine. There's a negligible what is a negligible amount? And and you're spraying huge amounts of this so-called negligible amount. And one, I agree with what you're saying in the sense that if we're isolating it to just the use for forest fires, great. Well, we're doing this. Not everybody agreed to be part of their experiment. I didn't agree to let them spray over my house night and day. So they're doing it all over the place nonstop, and we don't even have answers. And they were, it's been denied for how long, and now suddenly it seems like it's gaining popularity.
Yeah, they called everybody crazy for saying the chemtrails and stuff.
So I remember when we've talked about this before. One of our English teachers back in the day, it was something stupid, but or not stupid, but it was we were reading the book on Frankenstein, right? And I remember we were talking about free will and predestination, and I had asked the teacher, "What do you believe in?" And she was like, "I'm not supposed to get involved. That is not my place. It is up to you guys to decide." So I asked her throughout the whole time, the whole semester. I kept asking her, "So what is?" She goes, "Okay, if you remember," she got tired of me asking her. And she said, if you remember to ask me at the end of the semester that same question, I will give you my answer. And so I did. I remembered, and I asked her, and she said, I believe in free will because I believe in a God that allows us to choose what we want and to choose him freely and not a God that controls. But she said, our generation will see our generation will play God. And whether we should or shouldn't is something that we will have to face. And I think things like cloud seeding, I think things like AI, bioengineered viruses, whatever, right? Like this is all what we're saying is that we've advanced so much in science where now we're starting to play God. And there's things about nature that I don't think we should even go near, right? But I think naturally humans, we are curious. We are wanting to push the limits. I think science will forever want to see how far they could go and what is that limit. I mean, we see that with nuclear weapons and with Oppenheimer, which even though they knew that they shouldn't have had any business doing it, they still went forward. You know what I mean? Just for science. So for the name of science, should we mess around with nature? I don't think so.
It's a fair point.
I agree with Cam fully, and I want to combine what Tony said with what Cam said, because the thing is, all this no, but it's true. We're messing around with things we don't know the end of, and then what Tony said is so important. Like on the big decisions, like fluoride on the water, wars in the Middle East, like all the big decisions that affect our health, our life, our being, our money, the future of our children. Like, were we ever asked if we want fluoride on our water? Like,
hell no.
Was that like, did they even announce it when they put the fluoride on the water?
No.
And I just put a filter in my shower, and I'm already feeling sharper for all the fluoride that I'm not absorbing, and the same with foreign wars. Like, who decides foreign wars? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like the biggest decisions, and then nobody's at fault. That's what I want to add. Nobody's at fault. You put all the fluoride there, people lose IQ points. Nobody's guilty of it. Then you go fight wars that we shouldn't fight, in my opinion. like the war in between Russia and Ukraine. Like we're paying billions of dollars, and then once it's done and it collapses, nobody's at fault. You know, like it's ridiculous. Like who is responsible for all these big decisions? So we have no say on them, and nobody's responsible for them. The banking collapse of 2008, like they decided to bail them out. We paid for it, and then there's nobody that's responsible. So what are we doing here, Brandon?
No, it's bullshit. And I mean, we've just like been complacent for too long. Like we built this great thing where we have all these privileges and all this abundance and wealth, but people have been complacent for like probably the last 100 years. You know, like I'd say probably ever since like I don't know, like we got like trampled by Woodrow Wilson in World War I and allowed income taxes. Like that was the first step towards what we're facing right now. And like that was step one of the decline. And I mean, we just become bitches ever since then. Like think like you said, all this that's happening, it's because we've let it happen. Like I bet you behind the scenes, every single thing they've done like this, they're like, wow, I can't believe they let us get away with that. Like I bet we could do this now. And like it's like shit testing. You know the term shit testing. Like when a girl like see what she can get away with you, it's like the government did the same thing to us. They've been shit testing us and encroaching for the last 100 years, and like they're probably blown away by what they've gotten away with. But they like we're letting it happen. So it's on us just as much as it's on them. Because the thing that scares congressional representatives is if you call their ass and tell them that you're going to vote them out next time they're up for election. So if 100 people call their local representative in a given day and say like, "Hey, I'm done with this bullshit. We don't want this anymore." If you did that in like half the districts in the country, we would have serious change. But people don't do that.
The crazy thing is, so Brigitte Gabriel came on one day. She has her, I believe it's Act for America is the name of her organization. And she went through the numbers, how many calls it takes to get a congressperson to actually push something through. And the numbers were so small. It's like you said, it was like 80 people they call because each call represents to them 1,000 people calling. Yep. So if they got 80 calls, they would look at it as if 80,000 people just called in and they would take some type of action. So if everybody started to call, if we had 300 people in each, let's say, county doing calls, I mean, we could inflict some major change in a massive amount. I mean, in a short amount of time.
That's a great point. That's a great way to put numbers to it. And we should start a lobbying call center.
Just hire a bunch of people overseas to do calls.
Yeah. Congress is like, why am I getting all these Indian phone calls lately? Like, excuse me, no more fluoride in the water.
Hey, a great movie I'll input for people to watch, Spotlight on Netflix. And it actually goes down about with Mark Ruffalo. I can never fucking say his last name. Ruffalo.
I refuse to support Netflix. I'm sorry, guys. But I won't watch it anymore. Yeah.
No, I get it, but that's a great movie where they talk about I think it was in Ohio, all the crap they were throwing in their water. And how long it took, and it was against a big major fucking company, and I'm trying to remember. Anyways, great movie to watch, and it's kind of along the lines of what we're talking about with the shit they put in our waters.
You know what makes me question everything though is none of you guys will remember this because it was before your time and Cam, you weren't here, but I might have shown you though. So there was this guy named Dodge who used to work at Valuetainment, and it was like a psycho, but he was funny. They send him and one of the camera guys to Ohio when that fucking chemical train spilled over, and like he's doing a report. He's like standing in the river that the chemical spilled into. Like, get
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he's like, hey, nuts. Dodge here reporting from whatever Ohio. He's like, yeah, it smells like metal in the air, and he's
just feet in it up to his knees.
He puts his hands down and he goes, ooh, it tastes like metal too. This dude drank the fucking water that the chemical spilled into. I'll pull this video up for next time you guys are on. But yeah, like
that's fucking horrible.
And his hands were like turning bright red and shit, and everybody's freaking out. Yeah, it's psycho. But that makes me question everything. So we're a lot more durable than we think, I guess. But
at least that guy is.
Yeah.
Maybe not now. We should check in on him now. And see how
I heard some crazy stories about it. So Mike said that he also picked up a cigarette butt from the ground at the airport and smoked it because he was like severely addicted to cigarettes.
Good for him.
Yeah, I know, he's a savage. But so next story, I have one concerning story and then a feel good story at the end. So this one, unfortunately, a little concerning. let me get your concern level on this. So Iran is saying that in the next few hours, there's going to be what do they say? From BRICS News, Iranian state media reports that in the coming hours, the world will witness unusual scenes and extraordinary events. So
are they going to take off their hijabs?
That was good.
Are they going to treat women as equals?
That is good.
You see like a woman driving in a car? Okay.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Who wants to go first?
I think I just let...
Give me a concern level. Cam, give me a concern level on a scale from 1 to 10. Cam.
Me?
Yeah, scale how concerned? Scale 1 to 10.
Fuck them. I don't give a shit. Try something. I hate them. I have my reasons.
Yeah, I know you were over there. What happened to you with them?
The Iran missile crisis.
Yes, where were you based when that happened?
I was in Iraq and not Afghanistan, in Iraq and in Baghdad. I was at Camp Taji and Union 3, Saddam Hussein's bathhouse. And in Camp Taji is when they tried to fuck around and find out, and they threw missiles at us. And then shortly after, there's other details, but
that was right after we killed Soleimani, right? And they were trying to do like the show of force. No,
they overran the embassy in Baghdad, and then there's a lot there to unpack. Would be hours, but and then once we were in Kuwait, that's when we killed him with an airstrike. Their special ops general, and then right after that they threw missiles at us, and I was at Taji, and then fuck them. I don't care. I wish they would try something. They're notorious for speaking a lot and then not backing it up. My scale 1 through 10, 2, don't care. If they do, Daddy Trump will fucking probably blow them out if they try to do anything. I'll tell you that. I don't get me started, Iran. 2 through 10. That's fine.
Okay. Chat, how concerned are you guys on the scale from 1 to 10 about what Iran's saying? And then Humberto go.
All right. Should I go now?
Yeah. Well, let these come in.
I am deeply concerned about Iran, and I'm not only concerned about, because the thing is, you need to separate things, all right? And I separate things all the time. Like I have I love reading about Chinese history. I love reading about the Persian Empire. I think the people of Iran, they're great people, super influential in how the world is shaped. Like if I take you all the way back to Cyrus the Great, who established the Persian Empire, he was the guy that set up how governments work, like the whole system, how regions work. The legacy, even in the Western world, of the Persian Empire and Iran in general, like, is undeniable. Some of the smartest people I know, they come from Iran. All right. So having the Muslim regime, you don't understand, Ben, how beautiful Iran is. Like you people picture like a place in the Middle East, like with like a desert. It's not. Like they have beautiful mountains, great beaches. But I'm very concerned about how far they're gonna push this. I will say it's in the last legs, but we don't want a new war. We don't want a war with Iran. Like if they thought the invasion of Afghanistan and the takeover of Iraq was complicated, Iran is 10 times bigger, and the geography of Iran, it makes it 10 times more complicated. And I think both on the left and the right, they're writing checks they can't cash. And I don't want more death. Like it's so funny that in the year 2025, like being vehemently opposed to people dying is a controversial opinion. But I hope things they calm down, and we can start having diplomatic talks and get somewhere with this.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, so I'd say so it looks like from the chat. We got 0, 6, 5, 6.9. Nice. 2. So it looks like the average about 4, but I'm concerned all around, just from like a paranoia standpoint, because I just like can't help but feel like these people are planning or like they're desperate, like they're a cornered animal, like the people who hate what Trump is trying to do, the people that, like, hate what the majority of America wants, like the people who are the globalists, the people who want the world to go a certain way. Like I can't help but feel like they're not going to just like roll over and let like what's happening, let the momentum of what's happening happen. So I feel like they're like about to take like a hard swing in like a really severe way. So I'm really paranoid about that. And like when the thing happened with Trump where he almost got assassinated, they blamed that on Iran right away. So wouldn't be shocked if they try to do something crazy and then they make Iran the patsy. So I'm not afraid of I don't think Iran has the capabilities to do anything serious, but I think that they're like the go-to fall guy if our global elites were trying to we're going to try to do something crazy.
The prison military and like that industrial complex needs to keep going, so it needs another major war. So who can they put up now that we haven't already fought, that people aren't burnt out from hearing about? And so I think this is the next one. Just like you said, I was going to mention the same thing. Right after the assassination attempt, we started hearing about them. We don't know who this is that's tweeting. I mean, it's brick news, but we don't know who said that from Iranian state media. Right. And they've said plenty of stuff. So I feel like this is just the next, this is just the next major war that they want to push to keep that whole beast going.
No, totally agree. All right. Anybody else got anything on this before I go to the next one? We got a feel-good story to wrap this thing up. If not, let's do this thing. So do you guys remember a few months ago when we saw what was happening with the New York squatters? You guys remember that? Right. Where people are trying to sell their houses, and then the legal immigrants would go into their house and just post up and change the locks, and the people would get arrested if they wanted to get them out of their house. Let me refresh your memory if you don't remember that. I'm going to show you the opposite of that. 1 second. So this is New York.
Police have arrested a New York City homeowner and hit her with a summons after a fiery standoff with alleged squatters she's been trying to evict. Adele Andolaro was trying to sell her parents' $1.2 million house last month when she realized that there were squatters that had moved in. She then changed the locks, which landed her in cuffs. Here in New York City, squatters have rights, and they can claim those rights after just 30 days. It then becomes illegal for a property owner to change the locks. Andolaro has now been forced to begin an incredibly arduous legal process to get them evicted.
So that's New York. And then here's what happens if you do that in Florida. Oh, is that the wrong one? Oh, that was going to be excellent timing if I nailed that. And here's what happens if you do that in Florida. Damn it. Oh, wait, I know what the problem is.
I'm still thinking about what you said about unexpected psych when you're on. So.
Stall for a second while I get this, because this is
all right.
This is epic.
I was thinking maybe they're gonna have women go to the beach or something like that. Lighten it up.
Keep going. Where the hell's this thing?
But they've tweeted. I'll just talk while you look. I mean, they've tweeted out so many things.
Here it is. Here it is.
Years. Oh, go
ahead. I got it.
Perfect.
So this is Florida squatting.
Yes.
Oh, you're muted, Cam.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking that whole fucking time.
That's what are you saying?
I said it was actually funny that in the comments, Steve P said, Cam, you gotta learn how to mute it. Oh, shit. And I thought I was unmuted the whole time. And I guess I wasn't.
Oh, so it's not showing?
The feel good story of the day ain't gonna work out.
Step out. Come on. What's going on? Everything will be explained later. Stop. Come over.
All right, so Yeah, that's the contrast between Florida and New York. Was that not showing the whole time, by the way?
No, absolutely not.
No, we just got the tail end of that.
I got the view of his back, and that was it.
All right, here, let me show the beginning quick. Man, I lined that up so perfectly, and then I had the Iran link by accident. That's too bad. All right, ready? All right, is it on the screen right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Police!
Come on out. Come with your hands up. Come out now. Everybody out. Step out now. Let's go. Step out. Who else is inside?
Waters?
Yeah.
Orlando police, come to the front now.
That's crazy.
All right, let's see your hands. Yeah, put your hands up.
He's ready to go.
Come on.
Step out. Hands in the air. Walk this way.
Is anybody else in there?
Bro said, "Fuck the pistol. I'm going straight rifle."
So yeah, there's the contrast between what happens if you squat in New York versus what happens if you squat in Florida. So that's why most of us are in Florida, and I feel safe and like our rights and our common sensibilities are represented here, and that's why people are fleeing out of New York. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's refreshing to see. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's sad.
For New York?
It is sad for New York. It's the greatest city, ever created. Like most of the art that I like, most of the movies that I like are set in New York. Some of the greatest companies are from New York. Some of the greatest people, including Donald Trump, are from New York. And it's being destroyed by bad policy.
Yeah, and I mean, if you caught the beginning of that video too, they said that shitty house that the squatters had broken into was worth 1.2 million. So on top of it being a disaster and having bad laws, things like that shitty house cost 1.2 million there. So it's crime ridden, overpriced, and just falling apart. But I mean, it could be saved, just like California. I think it could be saved and needs to be saved. And the margins have been narrowing with what the Democrat versus Republican votes lately. It used to be a double-digit state, lock it in easy all day, but now it's down to 5 points. What's up? What are you laughing at?
No. I was just laughing at a text I got. Keep going, sorry.
Okay.
That was hilarious. Sorry, keep going. No, you're good. You're good.
What you got, Tony?
I know. I mean, I don't really have much to add that hasn't been said already. It's something that needs to be done. We need to be super tough on crime. One thing, I mean, it's a little off topic, but Trump said for illegal immigrants, he wants to, if you kill an American, you'll be executed. If you commit a major crime, you get a minimum 10 years. And it might sound harsh, but we need stronger deterrents to crime. We need, that's one thing that we love about Florida is that stuff won't fly here. Common sense is common here, and it needs to be a nationwide standard.
100%. No, I think they're just trying to kill national identity. I mean, that's why we saw yesterday that 55%, there's a 55% shortage in people applying for New York PD applications. That used to be something people were proud to do. They used to be the most respected police force in the country. And it's one thing if it's a dangerous situation, but it's a whole nother thing if your leader doesn't have your back. So I think that's the real shitty part of it. Remember when Giuliani came in, he cleaned it up in a few years.
I also think though that, not to get too conspiracy. Well, actually, we
go there. Jump in.
Yeah, David Icke talks about first they give us this problem, and then we'll ask them for the solution. So they're going to create all these problems for us, create all this lawlessness, and they're going to give us the solution in the form of a police state and stronger restrictions on all of us. So that's what I believe they're trying to do, and they'll end up doing it if we allow all this rampant lawlessness and craziness to continue.
100%. That's a great point. I totally agree. I think that they do often create the sickness and then offer us the cure as if it's some gift.
Yep.
People don't need to be on welfare, but they create those conditions and they're like, oh, here, welfare. Then boom, do whatever we fucking say.
Yep. Just vote for us. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, guys, those are all the stories I have today. Other things are coming out. I think I saw that the FBI just came out and said that the email that went to Sean Ryan did in fact come from the actual Cybertruck guy, right, Humberto?
No, it was Sebastian Gorka verified, supposedly.
Yeah.
That's what Sean Ryan tweeted, that Sebastian Gorka verified that it did come from Matthew. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yeah.
It was the FBI too, though, right? Like there's a tweet that came out where the FBI said, like, yeah, the email did come from the actual guy.
Pulling it up right
now. Humberto?
I mean, I saw the tweet and I saw the video, but
like I don't trust it because it's from the FBI, but the FBI did say that.
And then for sure it's fake.
Right, exactly.
For sure it's fake.
Like somebody in the FBI fucking drafted it up and emailed it.
That's literally where, it's literally where I'm at right now. Like, what if they say something? I think the opposite. It sucks, but yeah, that's the case. That's what.
I mean, they literally did it with New Orleans. They're like, it's not a terrorist attack. Like they're saying, like, while the guy's fucking laying next to her. Like, no, this guy
with an
ISIS
flag.
ISIS flag. You guys are misreading it. It's backwards. It's a CC flag or some shit. You know, like, we're like, what the hell are you talking about? So yeah, I feel the same way. I don't know who the hell to trust anymore.
Just God and your gut. But yeah, that's what we got for today, guys. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. You guys were awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Love. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Any last words?
I want to see, what are you guys over under? You think something will happen before inauguration on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes,
I think a 10.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I hope not. I hope not. I think it'll be 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like, I'm at 6 or 7 right now.
Yeah. So I hope Trump is staying paranoid. But
much love. I'm gonna head out.
All right, bro. Yeah, thank you guys as always. You can find me and Humberto on Minnect if you have any more questions. And if not, we will see you next time. Tony, still not Minnect.
Yeah, you can't find me anywhere.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.